Ometi, you can also do the MC for this one. So you can take question sessions, do what you normally do for the session. Okay. Madam Uche, you're also welcome. Whispers FM, Abuja. So what I'd like us to do quickly is that I just like those of us that are here now, just drop your name and your organization in the chat box, so we'll be able to know who and who was.
Already. So there are people who have been going through these trainings with us. Yeah, very good. One of the people I was looking out for. You're welcome. He's an expert on sickle cell. Good. So just drop your details there.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. This is the first time you're joining us.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So you'll be speaking to us at some point. The last Professor Timothy spoke to us. Okay. So to start with, I'd like those of us who have been part of this training, the sessions we've had, I like my guy from ETFM, Rebecca Ingatius, one of you, please just share with us some of your key takeaways from the sessions we have had before. Ota, you can share, or Ingatius or Rebecca, any of you, from the sessions we've had on sickle cell. I'd like you to share some of your takeaways from the trainings we've had. And also, I'd like you to also share any experience you had doing programs on sickle cell, from after the trainings, and then you went on and you did a couple of programs. Just quickly say one or two things that stand out for you, just to bring other people who are just joining us now up to speed. So, Ota, Rebecca, Ingatius, any of you?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. If you can hear me.
We can hear you.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Ota Ude. I work with Hit FM Calabar, and it has been an exciting moment being part of this training from day one till this moment. I'll say that it has been exciting, most especially being on air and talking about sickle cell. One interesting thing I found out about the whole situation is people's perceptions, myths, and misconceptions they had about sickle cell. And during the course of my research as well, I discovered so many things I was thinking were true. So that alone had made me more enlightened about the sickle cell. And again, before I used to use the word sickler. I used to use the word sickler for the past 30-something years. And this training has made me understand that that's not a good term to use, but rather we should use a warrior. And that connotes a very strong force in fighting the sickle cell disease. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. Rebecca, you want to add something? And Ingatius?
Okay, this is Plan Red. I don't know if I can speak in priority.
Yes, go on. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I would say the training has been quite impactful, and take home for me concerning sickle cell is that as presenters, We should ensure that the public know that sickle cell is not inherited and is not contagious, neither is it witchcraft. And also parents should also know that is not the warrior seeking attention, because you have some cases that people around them will feel they are seeking for attention. And the interview I had with one of the warrior, I was actually encouraged. She's a nurse, and she didn't let the disease define her, even though when she shared some of the challenges she encountered during school and all that, it was quite touching, but at the same time encouraging, because knowing that living as a warrior, you can still attain and live your full potentials is quite encouraging. So thank you so much, Kleverest Center, for the opportunity to learn, to relearn, and unlearn certain things.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. Who else is here?
Okay, yes.
Rebecca. Yeah, go on. Go on.
I quite appreciate this training. One of the things that I have not forgotten is that screening all the way, screening from birth, so that we can actually know the status of every child. And also one of the stories that was shared of a child that is SN, meanwhile the parents were not SS, and so it is a form of an investigation that has to be ongoing to ascertain that form of screening. And also for warriors, one of them that we met, just like Planet did mention, she looks quite okay. She has moved on with life, and with that, it gives me hope that actually warriors can still live a life that they will be successful in their life. So these are some of the few key things that so far, so good, we are on it.
Beautiful. Okay, my people from Sapienta Onitsha, we have Ebubechukwu. You want to share something from that axis? We've gotten someone from South-South, someone from North-Central. Let's get someone from Southeast. Tell us one of your takeaways from the session. Today, Chuku, are you with us? Those of us who are just joining, just please in the chat box, type your name and your organization so we know who is here. We also have a warrior also from Buela Foundation here in Abuja, whose foundation is celebrating 7 years of doing work on sickle cell. She will speak to us later also. Emanuela doesn't want to share with us something your takeaway from the training. Okay, she doesn't want.
Can I say something?
Go on. Yes, you can speak.
All right. I remember when we were having the first training, you made mention about we doing our research properly. And I didn't take that for granted. Yes, I didn't take that for granted. I did a thorough research with my team. So the second episode, we were supposed to have a doctor speak to us about some of the myths and misconceptions. Unfortunately, just 3 minutes to the time where we're supposed to call her, we noticed that her number was switched off. So if our venture, we never did our research, it would have just been yes, it would have been a mess, but we're able to continue the show perfectly without the health practitioner. So it's always very good for one to carry out the research on any particular topic you intend to do, not minding the fact that you had already contacted a guest to come on air with you. So that was one takeaway I got from the whole training.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like that. And it's part of what I'll be talking about today, because some of those who attended the training could not do their programs because they were not able to get guests. And I was also, that's why the national coordinator, the director in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Alayo, is supposed to also be in this session. Because for some, we're looking for resource persons for them. So if you can't get resource person, doesn't mean the show won't go on. You know, we'll talk a little bit about that today, because I've seen that in so many cases where once we're not able to get a resource person, we just say, oh, no, oh, the show will fail today. It must not be the case. We must still be able to do programs whether we get resource persons or not. So how we'll do it is part of what we'll talk about today. Okay, thank you very much. That's good. So, like I said, we have some experts here. Dr. Ofonime is here. Bula Foundation is here. We have Warriors, Olanrewaju, there's Jude. So the more will be joining. So they'll speak to us later. Warriors, get set. I would like you to share some of the things you think is missing in the airwaves that you think presenters can talk about. And then for Dr. Ofonime, who is an expert, all the experts are usually very busy. They have a very, very tight schedule. And that's why we encourage presenters, don't just call them last minute, give them enough time. I encourage you to give like 2 weeks notice to them, okay? But for Dr. Ofonime, apart from new issues on sickle cell, I also like you to tell us how best, you know, media people can access experts in the field when they need to talk to them. And what are some of the things that put you up as experts that these media guys do? So please prepare and let's talk about that. So let's start from where I'm going to drop some of the link to the first program we did, the first training we did. I'll drop it there. I'll also drop the link to one of the Kleverest Center trainings we did, prelude to this, understanding health journalism. So that's where we took it from. And then we've now gone into sickle cell. We've also done another training on patient-doctor relationship. We've done training also on malaria. So we'll be taking them like that. But the prelude was that understanding health journalism. How do you do health journalism? Is it like the way you do your regular programs and things like that? Like we have head of programs of Law FM here now. Have you thought about legal issues around health? Is it just about doctor and those health issues? Are there other things? There's a bill currently in the National Assembly for sickle cell, for instance, and we know the way National Assembly works. If that bill is not passed now, and you know, it goes like that, when the next set comes, they have to start all over again. And that bill is very important for people living with sickle cell. Now, the other thing about sickle cell is that not be a woman problem, now our problem. So for those so many years, 2 decades of doing this development work and all these trainings, I've not seen where any major international organization, you know, has come out to fund capacity building for media people on sickle cell. Now, these little things we've been doing, you know, have been self-help. If you check most of the sickle cell foundation, like this activity is also being supported by the sickle cell societies of Nigeria and Uni Abuja Center for Sickle Cell Research, CESTA, here in Abuja. Now, we've been supporting, Kleverest Center has been supporting CESTA since 2016. We've been training media people on sickle cell. And I'm excited that when you check a lot of the people who have been winning the media awards here in Abuja, mainly training journalists in Abuja here then, like 70% of them are people who were part of these are sickle cell training from 2016. They've gone to win a lot of international awards and things like that. Now, when you do programs on health, the chance of you winning an international award is very, very high. It's very, very high, unlike regular programming. And once that happens, it could change your life. Like when you watch the training on understanding health journalism, the trainer was Rose Camille Aneke. You can check her out. She's one of the biggest health journalists in Nigeria. So when I share the link in a bit, we'll be able to play that on your own and listen to some of the things she said. Started from Darling FM there in Owerri, and that was the first station in Nigeria to have a health program Monday to Friday, 1 hour. We always talk about Darling FM because, of course, it's the first station let's say, started, and right there, where she didn't need to be in Abuja or Lagos. She was having guests from World Health Organization on her show. And in 2020, she was among only 3 journalists featured worldwide by IJNet, the largest journalist network in the world. By 2021, she was on Internews Network panel for investigative journalism on health. She was like, when they sent her the invitation, she was like, ow, and I said, when you do the things you do, sometimes you don't know how big you are because you just do what you do, you just love to do it. But that is where health journalism can take you to. It can open doors for you that you least expect. Now, a lot of stations are struggling. When Women FM, like we shared in the last training on revenue, when Women FM started, everybody said they wouldn't survive, but they started doing development-focused issues, and they took it online. And before you know, international organizations started funding them. So it's an avenue, like my dear sister of Branama TV, for instance, that is one avenue that you can use to get international support. There is that sympathy for stations that focus on such kind of issues. So as an individual, we know how stations are owing salaries and all that. This is something that can create a breakthrough for you. There are organizations that are looking for ambassadors, media ambassadors that they can call up at any time. Once they notice that you have a passion for any of these issues that they are dealing with, before you know what's happening, they'll be the ones to approach you, and you have an extra source of income. And but above all, the mere fact that you're doing something, just like from the testimonies we heard of, people who were part of the training earlier on, you'll be saving lives, you'll be touching lives, and even your own within you. There are basic little things that we could do to take care of ourselves. Just because of lack of knowledge, we don't. And who is to give that knowledge? It's the media. So if you in the media can't spend your time to do programs on health, then who will do it? And we all have these challenges in our lives. So we just have to. So that's the charge now as we start. So I'll just share some tips, okay? We can go back to those 2 recordings. I'll upload the second one also. And, I'll just share some tips, some things I think we need to do when doing programs on health-related programs. I'll just share a couple of tips that we can use. Now, one is that thing that Otta talked about, which is research. Many times we have our online platforms, we scroll, we follow the Tinubu news, the political news, and all those kind of news. but we don't spend enough time checking materials on health-related issues. Now, even if you are doing a health program, first of all, before you even know what to talk about, if you've not been following trends, checking, resources on health, you will not be able to even pick a sensible topic to talk about. That is why most times we wait till when it's maybe World Sickle Cell Day. That's when we'll start thinking about stuff. International, what's it called? Youth Day now. Everybody is now, oh, that's me. Oh, it's International Youth Day. We'll start doing stuff on youth. And then you find out that the program does not have, what's it called, any meat inside. It's just, the program is just there, just like that. Does not have any meat inside. So you must be able to follow trends, follow health trends. So you must go follow pages that are focused on health-related issues. And there are also media organizations that focus on health-related issues. You go and you follow those pages and then follow the trends. Okay, so that's one of the key things we need to do first. And we miss that. We want to do health programs, but we don't follow those trends. We don't follow those pages. No, you must be able to follow those trends, follow those pages, like them, put the notification on for them so that when something new pops up, you are able to know and know what's latest, what's trending. That's one. Two, attend functions, health-related functions. Now, let me share this story. Thank God Reuben is here. Reuben is the program manager for the PACS project. This Jesse I'm putting on in the Uni-Abuja Center for Sickle Cell Research. Now, that center, Uni-Abuja Center for Sickle Cell Research, here in Abuja, here in Nigeria, is one of the best in Africa. In fact, when it comes to newborn screening, they are miles ahead of other centers in Africa here. And that's why this project is supported by Liverpool University for Tropical Medicine. We have a drama that will be premiering very soon. So for me, the PACS project is, from my knowledge, I don't know if there's any, but I don't know of any. PACS project is the only internationally funded project that trains journalists on sickle cell that I know of. Most of the other trainings you've done are locally funded by local NGOs. And this came as a result of those trainings we've been doing and sharing of the programs and articles for all those trainings, and they saw it. And the center is mainly focused on research. So that's what they should have been doing with Uni-Abuja, but somehow they just added communications and added media training, and then added the development of a drama and discussion program that will be premiering. So that's how, when you do programs on sickle cell, that's how, a lot of support will start coming from different places. And later on, Reuben, you will also speak to us. Just 1 minute, you tell us some of the latest things around sickle cell work that media people can pick up. So it's not just wait for World Sickle Cell Day, wait for this. Follow those trends, attend events. So when you see these universities, all those centers that Dr. Ofonime is from and all those ones, and I think we have Professor Nora also from Ife. I think she is also here with us. She has spent decades doing this stuff. Ma, you will say hello to us at some point. So when you see some of these events that are going on, attend those events. Now, even if they invite you, don't attend events with the mindset of going to cover. Oh, okay, they give money, I come and cover. In fact, organizations that reach out to me to invite journalists and media people to their event, when they use the word cover, I correct them immediately, because And many times they don't even have the real money to pay. Madam Betty, who worked in channels for how long? If she tells you how much 1 minute is in channels, you'll be surprised. So if you use the word cover, it means you have the money to pay exactly what that airtime is worth. 1 minute on NTA network news is 1.3 million. On channels is 800 or something K. 1 minute report. So you can imagine what it is. So when the media guys give this airtime, don't take it for granted. It's something that is, media is very, very expensive. So if you use the word cover, I correct them. It's just like you are not paying and they are telling me cover, especially your houseboy. So rather, I would rather you invite the media as participants for your event. You invite the media as participants to come be part of it. So you media guys, now when they are inviting you to event, don't just go there with the mind to cover, or just take a few 2 minutes report, do your news, and then forget about it. No. Be part of that event so that you fully understand what they're talking about. So the UNI Abuja Center for Sickle Cell Research, headed by Professor Onodu, she's at the top in Africa when you talk about professor, what's it called, dermatology and all those stuff. I started doing stuff with her way back 2007. She was working on cancer then. And so when the center was started and she became the head, I reached out to her and said, every year, you guys invite your profs, doctors, everybody, speak big grammar, come up with new things, but nobody knows what's going on. I said, just give me 2 hours of your annual session and let me invite media people. Just provide some small transport for them because Guagualada is quite far, and then I'll be the resource person, I'll do the trainings. And then you'll see how they'll be able to take those technical terms and transform it into simpler things that people can understand. You can imagine Otta from ETFM telling us that for his 30 years in the broadcast industry, he was still using terminologies that were not right. Because those who know, the experts, hold these events, excluding the media. You train yourself, you know all the things, but you don't know how to pull the media in so that they'll be able to understand. Now, these guys don't know these things. So it is you, the presenter, the producer, the media person. We have people from print here. Also, it is you guys that will tell them, say, look, this your big grammar and all those kind of things. You have to find a way to break it down for us. Involve us more in your sessions. Create sessions for us. Bring experts like people like us to come train us on how to understand these thematic issues and transform it to things that we can use for our programs. Now, if the media guys don't understand it, how on earth do you expect the audience to understand it? And that's why there's a lot of misconception everywhere. Till today, people still believe sickle cell is Obanje. Till today, and you'll be shocked with all the internet, with all the everything, because what they hear about sickle cell on air is not put in a way that they can understand it to know what it's really about. You get it? So you, the media guy, if you do not attend these events, whether you are invited or not, walk up to those experts that are there, the organizer, and tell them that, hey, see, you'll be surprised that they can even engage you as the resource person to train other journalists when you reach out to them, because you are the only one they know. They don't know anybody else. Are you getting? So show that interest, walk up to them, tell them that, hey, this thing, people won't be able to understand your big grammar. How can we simplify it for the media? Create a session for us, where we could be able to understand this thing and then put it out. And let's work together and partner together. Now, when I said no money, Prof. Nora gave a thumbs up. Yeah, because that's one of the challenges they have been facing since, because they know the media is very expensive. So engaging the media is also very difficult. But I'm telling you the truth. There are ways in which you walk up to the media that the media will give you free airtime like they've been giving for sickle cell for so many years. Okay? But it is like this. The media can give you that free airtime, but you don't go demanding. And then when they give you that free airtime, the second question is, what do you do with it? You relate with so many organizations, private, public organizations. In your reports, do you just report that you were on air on so station? I was on GSFM, I was on this, that's all. Do you do a report about the fact that these media guys went out of their way to give you this airtime? See, 30 minutes on Wazobia FM is like you're paying for TV. It's almost 500K. Just 30 minutes on Wazobia FM. It's almost 500K right now. That's the truth. 1 minute on Wazobia FM, 1 minute jingle is 28K. So you can imagine how expensive media is. And so if they give you, sometimes they will give you up to 1 hour open phone lines, and then you leave and then you go. Do you, in your report, write about this wonderful thing that this media person has done for you? Even put the media person's name. If you have a link to the person's profile, put it there and share it internationally. Now, on this PAX project, working with Uni Abuja, that's one of the things that was done. The links to the things the media guys do was shared. Reuben is here that share a lot of those things with their international partners. And that is how the PAX guys got to know about, from Liverpool, got to know about this work and came in to support. So you say there's no money, you don't have money. The money does not have to come from you or your organization as an expert. It can come from your partners. So it's not left for you to share and push these things out. And you'll be surprised, those guys that, because a lot of the work, sickle cell work, is as a result of donor support here and there. Madam from Bula Foundation is here. She's been getting support from different organizations for the past 7 years that the organization has been on. Some of those supports can also go to these media guys who are struggling to put these things on air. Okay? So for you, media guys, they don't know. They don't even know the challenges you go through. See, everybody believes it's your social, what's it called? Corporate social responsibility. They forget that you have to pay 20 million for NBC license. They forget that 2.3% of your percent as a station goes to the NBC. They forget that half of the revenue that used to come to the media now goes to very dark man on social media. Anyway, media now on fault with that one, Sha. You get it. The struggles you have to go through to put a program on air. And media owners, sometimes when you say you want to do a program on health, for instance, for a Wazobia FM, some stations, for you to even bring a live guest on air, it's problem. It's challenging. So they don't know this. So who will tell them? Who will let them know? That's why I'm inviting them to this kind of sessions with you. You are the ones to tell them. You're the ones to reach out. So don't just go collect that how much envelope they gave you for transport, cover events, and then leave it. No. Engage those organizers, engage those experts. So from today, as you leave this place, you go out and find out what health-related events are taking place, whether you are invited or not. Reach out to them. Reach out to them. Okay? So we've talked about you doing your research, talked about you doing events, we talked about reaching out. Now, the other part about reaching out is online. For Darling FM in Owerri, one of the things Camille and Co did, after some of these trainings, we get them on social media and all that. And for media people, media today lives in social media. That's where the media lives today. So if you are not active online, you're losing a lot. Now, one of the strategies they did, if they, after brainstorming and they want to talk about any topic, you know, you do your brainstorm at the beginning of the quarter, not just last minute, say, okay, what will I talk about today? No, they do their brainstorm. They have, what's it called, topics set out. And you just use hashtag, post that topic on your Twitter, on Facebook. It's going to bring out anybody who has done something on that issue. You can try it on your phone right now as we are talking. Just type newborn screening, for instance, hashtag newborn screening. Post it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them, and see what will happen. It's going to bring out people who have done work on this thing. And that was how they were able to get international guests on their show from Owerri, not Lagos, not Abuja, international guests. And now it's easier. So you could do WhatsApp calls. For instance, I've been on Law FM severally from here in Abuja. Law FM is in Lagos. Kingsley is here. And we did it via Zoom. You know, you could have guests from anywhere currently. You just send them a message on LinkedIn, wherever you find those experts, send them a message, and I'm telling you, they'll gladly respond to you and want to be part of your show. And then also you will be able to see their articles, read it and understand it, okay? So all this I'm saying is that before you get up, say you want to do health program, we have people who are doing health program, just, I don't know what to say. You have to be built thematically on that health issue. You don't just get up and say you want to do health. It's a matter of life and death. One misconception that goes on air could just lead to someone dying. And it could even happen in your house. Because you as a media person, your program is trusted. You know, trust level for traditional media especially has not gone down till tomorrow. They still trust you. So anything that goes on air is trusted. So if it's not the correct thing, then you're causing a lot of problems. So the first thing, you have to build yourself, right? And then I've shared ways in which you could build yourself, reach out, interact with these guys, use the online space, reach out to people, and you'll be surprised. Did anybody try the thing I just said just now? Did somebody try to hashtag newborn screening? Sickle cell newborn screening, hashtag that and share with us what you saw. If anybody did it, you can unmute and just tell us something you saw. So it's that easy, okay? Now, the other thing it also does is this, which comes to the issue of, okay, the expert can't come live, or all of a sudden the expert's phone number goes off like Ota's experience, you know, or those who couldn't do programs because I was trying to reach out to people to go on air and they were not able to, you know. What do you do? Now, from going through those pages, those people's pages, you're going to see articles they've done. You would even see maybe programs they've attended that they uploaded. You know, you'll see so many things. You'll see some YouTube videos. You'll see a lot of things. Now, you could easily download some of those sound bites and use them on your show. So let's say you have a phone-in program, for instance. You've done that your research and all that. You've gotten some of all these materials from these guys, you know, even though they are not available to come in, you've gotten materials online. You could now throw up questions on air and say, for instance, do you know that XYZ is, what do you know about XYZ? And for people to call in, and they'll say some of all the wrong things they know and all that. And then you now play the clip. You play the correct thing that you've gotten from some of these sources. And you could do a full program, 1 hour program, just like that, without having any experts. But you gather this information from all these places, and then you could just go on air live like that. And you'll be surprised how wonderful that program will be. So you are not the expert, so you are not the one answering, but those clips you brought in is what you're using. You play those clips back to answer. And you find a lot of things like that you could use to boost your programs. Okay, so we got that. Are we together?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, because I'm conscious of time, I want to stop here first with these few points I've shared. I'll come back later to now share some more technical things on putting a program together. Let me say this. It starts with you writing down something. Now, the aim of what I'll be sharing after is that what I want to see some of you win international fellowships doing sickle cell related programs. We've trained a lot of people. The people who I said we trained on sickle cell that have been winning international fellowships, on the international fellowships they've been winning have come from other health issues they've been doing. I've not seen any of them that submitted a program on sickle cell. And that's what I want to change. I want to see someone submit a program on sickle cell and win an international fellowship. I want to see that. Now, one of the most difficult things about getting an international fellowship is actually filling the form. Now, there's a problem there. And that's why it's the same set of people that have been winning all the fellowships over and over and over again. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be having a full training on that. One of my guys, Femi, former head of Royal FM in Ilorin, is in the US now. He'll be sharing with us. He's been winning international fellowships every year, doing all these kind of issues. And Camille will also be sharing something with us, also linking AI with it in a couple of weeks. So be watching. If you are not in the Kleverest Center WhatsApp group, ensure to join the group so you don't miss any of that, and follow and subscribe to our YouTube page. We upload some of the webinars these days. So now, to fill that form, you must be able to understand the entire process of your production. And that's one thing that journalists are lacking. If I ask you, why did you pick this topic? They go blank, ramble around the place. You don't know why. So how did you do it? What steps did you take? Don't know why. And then when they are looking for your footprint, so if you Google my name, for instance, Leonard, sometimes I tell, when I meet people, I say, just Google my name. When I say that, they think, okay, is especially media related people, they think maybe is they proud or something. No. Why I'm doing that is for you to learn and see something. If I do recruitment for stations. If I want to recruit and I Google your name and I don't see quality content related to you, those of you who go on Instagram and all you post is just dance in the studio, that one will not help you. If I Google your name, I must see posts about real quality content that you've done. If I don't see that, you can't get international fellowship. I won't even recruit you. So that's why I first do training for people before I even recruit them. So after the training, go and now do, then before I now do the interview for you. So make you say I just pursue you like that. But that is one thing. People should be able to Google your name as a presenter and see some of your programs on all these issues. So they will check all that. Okay. So it's what I will talk about after this session. So now I want to give the opportunity to our experts and warriors that are here to share some things with us. And I want to start with Dr. Ofonime. Just very briefly, 2 minutes. I want you to share with us some of the latest information about sickle cell. Any information you have, something that you think media people should look out for. Just 2 minutes. After Dr. Ofonime, I'd like Professor Nora. She has a lot of experience doing this stuff. She says she's retired now. She's not tired. She's still doing stuff. To also share just 2 minutes, some in your years of doing this work. Okay. Then after that, I would like Reuben to please give us some highlights of what PAX project is all about, what Sestra is all about, because that's, as far as I'm concerned, the best sickle cell research center in Africa currently, leading on newborn screening. Okay, so those three first, then we'll move on. So Dr. Ofonime.
Thank you so much. Well, the new thing that I think is going on in Nigeria about sickle cell is clinical trials. So we're having a lot of clinical trials in Nigeria with regards to sickle cell. And those are the things that we didn't have before. Somehow Africa and Nigeria is being blessed now with clinical trials with our patients with sickle cell. So at least now we know that our statistics is being counted globally. You know, Nigeria is being forced to reckon with that we have the highest burden of sickle cell in sub-Saharan Africa. So that's the new thing that is coming up now, clinical trials and research in mostly clinical trials in sickle cell. Thank you. So journalists and media should focus there and create an awareness. And so the warriors will not think they are being used as guinea pig, because it's a good thing, as far as I'm concerned, for us to have clinical trials in the environment.
Okay, a quick question. So why is it a good thing? What is cell?
Now, so it's a good thing because we hear these medications, we don't know how effective they are in our own Black people, in our warriors. We hear them in outside Nigeria and things like that, but nothing has really been done. The trials have not been carried out in our own population. So our population that are privileged can travel out, use it, but we don't know if it's that effective in our own side. So it's not everything that is happening there that is good there that will be good us. So that's why the trial is good.
Beautiful. So yeah, people, you get that. So now that gives you an opportunity to put out information there that would prepare the minds of people. Now, a lot of the intervention have been foreign driven. Now, if it's foreign driven, how useful do you think it is to us? You know, are there effects that will happen? So if it's not locally driven, where the trials are happening here, we know our conditions, we know things. You know, these guys have been working with sickle cell warriors for so many years. You know, they understand them. And so they will be able to also advise those international pharmacies and all those, you know, people who do all those things. So that's an area to look out for. Okay. All right. So Prof.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. So as I said, I'm very happy to be here in this room with you. I've been a friend of the media for a long, long time. And I started with NTA Ife when NTA Ife was still functional. I started by, doing a program, a 25-week program. I called my colleagues from the hospital, and we just wanted to educate the community about various ailments, common ailments in the society. Sickle cell was included. We mentioned all the various common ailments, whether medical or surgical. And I went out to get funding because, you see, it was NTA Ife, which means it's on television, and it's more expensive to air on TV than on radio. So to fund it, I had to now reach out to the community. And 2 of the royal fathers came to my aid, and I got funding for the 25 weeks program that we did. And it's a full-name program. So the lesson I'm trying to bring out here is that it's important that we professionals, try and become friends with the media and collaborate and work together with the people in the community to actually, push out this information to the people out there, because knowledge is power. We need this information. And in fact, that period, in fact, a lot of things change in our hospital because we're referring people to the teaching hospital to come and get investigated and get treatment. Is this surgery and all these sort of things? A new way to go. So people need information and they depend on media to help them. So I'm really happy that this is coming up at this time. All that I need to say now is to congratulate you and say well done. And I pray that we can do more together. And the media can help by giving us specific slots and draw a program for the year. You know, as I said, we professionals were very busy. We don't have much time. But if we know your agenda for the year, we will find a way to slot ourselves in and make ourselves available to give you the information that we need to pass on to the community. But we must work together. It's a matter of collaboration and partnership. So once again, congratulations, everybody. Well done.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You see what I said, right? But it's not going to happen if you, media guy, you don't create that. You have to create that atmosphere for them. They don't have the funds directly themselves, but through what you're doing with them, funding will come, just like she has shared. And she has been doing this for so many years. Okay, Reuben, your turn. So after Reuben, we'll throw some room for people to ask questions. Reuben.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity and thanks for the good work. I want to appreciate those that have spoken before me, Dr. Ofonime, who has mentioned some of the latest things that has been happening in sickle cell disease, which includes clinical trials. And I want to especially appreciate Professor Akinola, who is seriously contributing to the database that we have nationally now in Scenta. I mean, she's contributing both in the follow aspect of the research. So I want to thank her. I want to introduce PACT to all of us. PACT is patient-centered. Well, it's just about patients, you know, the full acronym, the PACT acronym is patient-centered. Sorry, is someone speaking?
No, go on.
Okay, yeah, so PACT is Patient-Centered Sickle Cell Disease Management in Africa, and it's involving Nigeria, Ghana, and Zambia. The hub for Nigeria is at Scenta. The project is all about the patients. You know, the patients are the center of all what we do. Different arms of the project revolves around the patients. The first part of it is the community part, that we call the participatory action cycle. The participatory action cycle involves the community members, the ones doing the outreach. We train them, they go into the community, they talk to the people in the community, get information from patients, carers, and those in the community, and then give us feedback. So from what they give us, we tailor in training activities to help improve what they find out in the community. So they are the community people solving problems around sickle cell disease. Then we have the standard-based audit. Sorry to take a little bit just to explain. Standard-based audit, which is focused in the hospital. So our target is to work with care providers, work within the hospital settings to improve care for sickle cell disease patients in the hospital. So including the pharmacy, the lab, the patient unit, the doctors, nurses. So anything around the care for sickle cell patients in the hospital. These people, staffs in the hospital, work together to improve that care. So if patients are complaining about long waiting time to pay bills, to pay for consultation, or to run a test, or turnaround time for whatever information, they go ahead and tackle it. One of the successful things we've done is to help improve the availability of hydroxyurea, which is a very important drug for sickle cell disease, and a lot more. So I don't want to waste our time on that. But standard-based audit, you know, focuses on the hospital setting to improve care. Then the other aspect that has to do with the journalist is the journalist and researcher network. We built a journalist and researcher network. This network, we hoped to see how we can improve the relationship between the researchers and the journalists. We notice that a lot of activities are going on. Doctors are doing a lot of research, and researches are coming out every day, but the journalists don't know about it. So we built this network and try to see how we can make sure that these researchers communicate their work better to the journalists. And while the journalists are on air, on television, or wherever, they have better information about the latest research and those kind of trials, and then better inform their population. Because I mean, the journalists are the mouthpiece of whatever the researchers are doing. So it's better to improve what the mouth says so that the ears can hear better. Another arm of PACT is the media aspect or communication arm. So PACT wants to develop, or has developed rather, a 12-episode drama series. This is a story about a particular person. I won't want to tell us the details so that, because the program is yet to come out. And that 12th episode is supposed to run for 3 months. For that 3 months, it will have a calling to have researchers and community health workers in the studio and the patients. So what the place, the researcher, the community, the patients will ask questions, the feedback gets from the program. Plus, the journalists. So we're improving all the research activities to see best that the caregivers get the best care, the patients, the caregivers get the best help to help the patient, and the right information is passed to the populace through the journalists. So this is basically what PACT has been trying to do in the past 3-4 years. We are continuing to do the work, hoping that more researchers will work with journalists, or rather more journalists will volunteer to work with researchers, because the cost of on is very don't actually have the size budget to make program run. When the journalist is on air, and then once in a while the journalist will talk about sickle cell disease, and especially the fact that sickle cell disease is an avoidable disease. Very avoidable. I mean, people who have AS don't get married to people who have AS. We want sickle cell disease patients. So it's important to mention that while this program is on. And finally, I want to appreciate the anchor of this program, the CEO, MD Kleverest Scenta. He has always given us the opportunity, the support, the voice, and always giving us the beating too wherever we don't get it right. And then I want to say thank you to all the journalists and the platform. Thank you so much for having me.
Unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Kleverest, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Wow. Okay, so what I would say is that one key thing, I started by saying, thank God you mentioned the beating. Journalists, you have to also beat them to get them right. Someone's mic, Elizabeth from Maiduguri, your mic. Let me mute her. Okay. Now, one key thing Reuben said, which is very important, which is part of the reason we are doing this kind of trainings and inviting experts and all that, is that journalist researchers network. What I talked about now, PACT is one of those bodies that is spearheading that kind of thing. So one thing he didn't mention, that it will get to a point in this collaboration that the journalist will be able to publish an article, in an international journal with the researcher. So if you have people working on their PhDs and things like that, Prof, as you can reach out to Prof. There are many people under her that she is grooming. She can link you with one of them. So you could work with them in their research, turn some of those research findings into programs, and then together, you guys can publish an article in an international journal that will have your name there. Now, honestly speaking, I always share with people that before I knew about international fellowships and a lot of all these things, I had already started working and training journalists in an international organization. I started with Internews Network, and that was 2004. And so when I now wanted to apply for an international fellowship, they replied me that you're already training media, working in an international organization that is giving fellowship, and you're applying. So I lost a lot of all those opportunities because I was already tagged as an expert, whereas me too, I want to go some of all those trips now. But now you can do that. You can do that and hook up with them, and you'll be surprised where those articles will take you to. In 2014 or thereabout, I just said, let me Google my name and see what will come out. Not knowing that in 2006, someone who has the biggest health journalism magazine in the United States, he visited us, he listened to one of my presentations then in 2006. He interviewed me, and he took those things and put it in an article in that international magazine. I didn't even know all these years. I forgot about that guy, and I Googled my name and it popped up, and I was like, wow, really? In the biggest health journalism magazine in the US. So that kind of thing can happen to you, and it will take you to a totally different level. Okay, and let me share something. There's something happening in the creative sector which we need to know. With MBT, I'm in a committee, let me put it like that. And these skills acquisition centers they are now trying to formalize some of them. So sometimes, for instance, there was something I wanted to do with an institution and it didn't work because they said I was not in the academic line. Okay. Now the federal government is working on that. For instance, if I was in the United States by now, they would have given me associate prof or something like that because of the work, this media training, and this work that I've been doing. But in Nigeria, it's not like that. But the federal government is working on that now, and within a couple of weeks, you'll see programs coming up under MBTE that takes care of us in this kind of sector. Now, this kind of interaction with these researchers, this kind of publications will put you in a better standing when you want to do certain things with organizations that are academic centered. So it's something we should do. Well done, Reuben and co. Well done, Prof. Very, very well for me. Okay, now, Marigold, you have a question. So anybody from what we've said so far, any questions you have, this is the time to ask before I come back to give us the other parts of putting this program.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I'm in the office, so it's a bit noisy, but manage me. Okay, so I got interested in this discussion because I have a program, a night's program, where I deal on family issues and I connect singles who want to get married. And one of the issues raised the issue of genotype. People like AS will not meet together. And I always have people asking me questions. Why? I like this person. I love this person. I cannot marry. And sometimes there are issues that come up and you will hear, I married this person. She's an AS. I am AS. And we are having issues and we are having challenges. Hence my interest in this discussion. But basically, I want to say why we want to attend to the warriors and give them aid or give them help. Can we also, I don't know if there's a champion, if there's a group championing for families or couples not to even get entangled as AS and AS. So I think that's where the challenge is coming from, because if they are very much educated, we will not be having sickle cell. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I stand to be corrected. So if we can champion having to educate people from the grassroots, and they should not be victims of the genotype issue, I think that would go a long way in trying to cure or attend to the problem on ground, but we can attack it from the grassroots. I'm just saying, if there's anything going on like that, and if there is, I would like to know, and I would like to be a part of it, so I can also educate my people. Then, on the case of the part and the program ongoing for sickle cell people, I can also educate my people on air during my night program on how to manage and handle their children, those of them who have sickle cell. I have a whole lot of them. They talk, they complain, they call. I even have some that their husbands have abandoned them, and they are the only ones attending to the children. So we have cases like that. That's why I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank God you spoke English today. She's a pidgin presenter in Lagos.
Oh, God, don't bring my leg, come outside. I'll go talk.
Yeah, Professor Nora Akinola wants to respond to you because she's done a lot of this. Now, Reuben said something about that. There are lots of information going on in the grassroots, but what the missing link is the media part of it. Beulah Foundation is here. There are so many of them. There are so many groups in Nigeria, local groups working on sickle cell. And Prof will talk about some of these things. Now, where the axis, Prof, is, while I was producing Flavor, I did a program on the first support group in Nigeria. It's in that same Osun state in Ilesha. Now, that axis between Osun and Oyo alone, if you know the number of things and support group activities that are in that axis alone, you'll be shocked. I think that's where you have the highest density in Nigeria, but Prof would respond now.
Thank you very much, Kleverest. Marigold Dan, is that what your name is? What's your name really? Hello?
Madam Top.
Okay, very good. I'm happy you spoke the way you did. And that is why the media is very crucial, in this matter. You need to pass on the correct information. Okay, in this sickle cell business, there is what we call education and counseling. They're two different things, but they both involve giving information that is accurate and appropriate for people to make informed decisions. You give people information that will let them know the consequences of having AS and AS getting married. But it's not for you to say, don't get married. That's not our business to do as professionals. You will leave the clients alone to decide that this is the consequence. If you get married, these are the various possibilities, which may or may not be, because it's God that is in control of what he brings out for you as a child. Because we have many couples like that. Some of them don't have children with sickle cell disease at all. Some of them have all their children with sickle cell disease. So who knows what is going to happen? Only God. So that is why we call it a chance game. But as for us who are the knowledge providers, ours is to be able to give information and stand by them to help them out. Like you said, you also go and give programs on how to manage children with sickle cell disease so that the husbands won't abandon their wives to taking care of the children. And that is why counseling is important, especially pre-marriage, premarital counseling. We as care providers are not marriage counselors. We are providing information about sickle cell disease as it pertains to the bearing of children and rearing of children with sickle cell disease. So please let us bear this in mind in the process of giving information. Okay, so bottom line is that we need to put our hands together and work together to ensure that the right information gets to the community. We have no right, and it is unethical for us to say AS and AS should not marry, and I'm emphasizing that. We are not marriage counselors. People who have AS and AS can marry. There are various options for them to have children. If they can't afford prenatal diagnosis of the child, of a pregnancy between them, so that they know what type of hemoglobin the baby has before it's born. That's prenatal diagnosis for sickle cell disease. If they can't afford that because it's expensive, it's a DNA method. If they can't afford that, then they will invest in newborn screening at the point of delivery. All right. So these are for high risk parents, that is AS and AS. So at newborn, that's why we talk about newborn screening, Let's know what is happening. All right. And at newborn screening, when the baby is now screened and is found to have SS, is automatically referred into care and given care. This is again where we all come in. Give the right correct information and help such clients to be able to stand by their decisions and take it through amicably without hurting themselves, without abandoning themselves. Because individuals with sickle cell disease are individuals, they're human beings, and they should be taken care of. And if you don't take care of them, we're talking about stigmatizing them, discriminating against them. As they grow older, they have challenges, various challenges. And it is our attitude towards them that will determine their outcomes. And the knowledge in the community also goes a long way in helping us to do that. There's so much to talk about that, but we'll take it a step at a time. So thank you very much. Sorry for taking your time.
Thank you very much, Ma. And she mentioned something about that ethical thing. So when producing flavor, for instance, the years I produced the radio show flavor, we do not tell people don't do this, don't do that. We just show you. So that's why one of the key things you do when doing health programming is about helping people make informed choices. So you're able to design programs that show these things, show the possibilities, and then let the person, make that decision. Okay. Before I call, I'll call some warriors to speak in a bit. Olanrewaju is here. You will have 1 minute to share with us. He was part of some productions done by NTA, at some point that aired on network. We have Beulah Foundation here. There's Jude also, who is a warrior. Among the trainees, we have a couple of warriors among the trainees, but none of them is here right now. I think they are on air. Okay. All right. But before we say that, I want to show us something. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can we see what I'm sharing there? Can we see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So it's about steps to behavior change. And that is one thing we need to know when doing health-related programs. And that is why I'm not too happy with journalists who just get up and just say, oh, today my topic is sickle cell disease. Can you deal with sickle cell disease in one program? It's not possible. Otta in ITFM is currently doing a series. He committed to doing a series. He's done a couple of editions already, taking different issues, one after the other. That's how to do health-related stuff. And it does not have to be, for some of us doing several other programs, like Marigold's program, for instance, you deal with several issues on your program. Law FM, Kingsley, you deal with several issues. Whispers FM, you deal with several issues on your program. Now, part of what this training is about is, because initially when I sent the request to stations to nominate people for this training, they wanted to nominate health producers. I said no. And that's one mistake stations do. We lock health issues in one corner where nobody listens to and produce one boring program that nobody listens to. No. If we really know that health is wealth, and if you are not well, you can't go to work, then we'll be infusing health program in a mainstream program. So instead of you using that your prime time to be doing Akpabio and Tinubu, deal with health issues that affect people, and you'll be surprised what will happen. I produced Flavor. Down south, Flavor was the most listened to program on radio. So imagine if it belonged to a station. Yatekene up north was one of the most listened to radio program in the entire Nigeria, having 68% of the audience. BBC Hausa service is 48%. And it was about HIV and AIDS. Are you getting? Old to the small, people listen to it. So we must be able to infuse health programs in our main prime time. That's one thing we need to do. Tell your station leaders. Now, for behavior change programs like health programs, it is step by step. Just like Prof said, if she wants to start talking about issues around sickle cell today, we will not leave here today. There are so many. There are complications. There are complicated issues. Even the things she mentioned there, someone is already wondering, saying, because you need time to be able to break it down. Okay? So if you're starting your health related issues today, it's best you start with things that have to do with knowledge, like you see on the step. Knowledge. There are many things that you want to correct. There are many things you want people to know. You can't just make them know it if you just jump into the middle like that. So start with the basic thing. Basic thing. If we say newborn screen, what is even that newborn screen itself? Let's understand it. If we say ASSS, as what does that mean? What's genotype about? So we don't do one-off programs and just knock it off, and then you think that, oh, I have dealt with this issue. Next year, you wait for World Sickle Cell Day and you repeat the same thing all over again. You're not helping anybody. There has to be that deliberateness. And it doesn't have to be a full 30 minutes program. You can just devote just 5 minutes of that your program that you deal with so many other issues to deal with something just small, one tiny thing on sickle cell. And that's what you deal with, each time, every week, 5 minutes, just commit to that. Say, oh, we'll do this. Then maybe as it becomes exciting, you graduate to 15 minutes and then 30 minutes and but it has to be something consistent over time. Start with knowledge, basic issues. Then after that, you find out that when they know what that thing is, that's when they'll start to accept. You see the ladder. Okay, and then they will now start to be able to appreciate more things, knowing how it affects them, what they can do, and things like that. Like these new clinical trials coming in that Dr. Ofonime talked about. We know what that thing is. We know the Pfizer case in the north. We know what it is. So anything like that, people begin to resist. Are you getting? But what will make them understand and see the benefits? Then they'll begin to accept. Now, just like that clinical trials thing, Prof said there are so many things you can do. There are so many things you can do. SSIS, they can marry and do some certain things, but it is very expensive. Now, if these things, we start doing these trials and we begin to find local solutions within the country, what do you think will happen? The cost will begin to come down. Managing sickle cell issues would now become a lot easier. Nigeria carries the highest burden in the world. Oyibo man would not really fund media stuff on sickle cell because it's not their problem. That's why we have to locally do these things ourselves. Okay? Then after the acceptance is when they now have intention and then they now get into start practicing, just like you see, and then they become advocates. Like what led me into sickle cell, Raju is not here today. She's actually in the hospital. She's been one of the resource persons in all our trainings. She's there in Calabar. She was a youth corper that served with me in 2010. And she was one of those that led me into thinking about doing stuff on sickle cell when I saw what she went through. And another artist that I was supporting that died just at the age of 25, one of the best producers we had in Abuja that was very close to me. These are people. And then we shared this in the last couple of trainings. This year alone, 2 of our trainees staff of Radio Nigeria lost their lives. One knew she was a sickler, but nobody in the office, warrior, nobody in the office knew. Because we've not put this thing out there in the media space for people to understand. We have people who work in organizations and they hide whenever they are in crisis. And the support that they could have gotten from the larger society is not there. There are people working in office that because of crisis, they get fired. You know, there are so many of all those kind of issues. Now, when we begin to do programs and people begin to understand this, you'll see bosses who will now begin to put sickle cell policies in the workplace. The bill in the National Assembly that is about putting sickle cell treatment issues in the health scheme, health insurance scheme is there, but nobody is talking about it. You are interviewing the politicians on several issues. You will not ask them questions on sickle cell. Have you seen debates in the US? Have you seen the way they use health insurance and all those health policies as one of the key things for voting? In Nigeria, we don't talk about it. Instead, we'll be talking about other political things. Ask them these direct questions. In Abuja here, some part of sickle cell treatment has gone into the health insurance scheme just because of this work, these trainings and things we've been doing with the media. Reuben and his team have been on air on so many stations in Abuja here, and locally, the FCT administration has done something about it. Courtesy the same trainings and things we do, the director, who is unfortunately is not here now, he would have been here, has started pushing for certain things. There are certain changes that are taking place in the Ministry of Health. Are you getting? So it is step by step. But these same people, initially, when we started a couple of years back, they didn't even want to hear anything about anything. But as the media kept on putting it out there, they now understood, they accepted, you know, we now have top people in government, you know, that are now advocates, you know, putting bills in the National Assembly. Are you getting? So that is how development, communications, behavior change programs work. So that is what we need to do. Now, quickly to what I'll just talk about it. I'm not going to share any slide around that because we don't have time. We have to get out here. So what I was talking about, after when I finish, I'm going to call the warriors now to share some things. What I was talking about you putting your program together and targeting international organizations, okay? If, for instance, that NTA person did not cooperate with Prof and do something, Prof would not have anything to sell to the traditional leaders and all those people that came to support the program. In fact, there are communities, Reuben has some of those information of communities where it is the traditional rulers that are spearheading. The traditional rulers can even use their position to go get funding to support your work, okay? But first of all, you need to understand why you're doing this program. Ask yourself why. So one way to know that you know this program is that thing I always say in my training, you must have that one sentence where in that your simple sentence, you are able to say what your program is about. And three things must be there. Who is this program for? What issues is this program dealing with? And what is the expected outcome? So that way you'll be able to say, this is what led me to design this program. It is targeted at this group. For instance, now you're doing sickle cell issues, just like Marigo was asking about if there's any program or anything for couples and all that. You can take the same topic, the way you treat it for children, when you're doing children's program on Branama TV, for instance, will be totally different from the way you deal with it as a policy issue on a talk station like Nigeria Info. And it will be different from how you deal with it for young people on a Cool FM, on a, you know, urban radio, all those kind of stations. You get what I'm saying? So you must be able to define the exact target audience. this one, who is it for that I'm doing? Who am I doing this program for? And then after this program, what are they expect? What am I expecting them to do? And your expectation should not be anything grandiose. Like someone told me, hey, I am doing this program. I want to stop sickle cell disease. Can that your own program stop sickle cell disease? No. But you can say something like, okay, I want people to be able to know where they can go for newborn screening, for instance. I want people to be able to know the implications of marrying XYZ. You know, something very basic. I want people to know latest clinical trials, just information. Are you getting? I want people to be able to, something very simple. I want, you know, so when you're able to note that and put it down, then you're able to write that when filling those forms for international fellowship. And that would also guide your program so you don't derail. So if you say this aspect of sickle cell is what I want to deal with today, you stick with it till the end. So people understand it fully. Don't be doing half and half. Just come talk, you know, here and there and there. People don't get something they can take. Let it be that at the end of your program, people are able to take something and, you know, work with that thing. Okay. Now, the other thing that is there is this. You will now be able to use that, your one sentence, to develop your script, have your running order, know how you will start the program, where you move to and where it ends. And one of the easiest way to do that is designing your program along these three pillars: cause, effect, and solution. Cause, effect, and solution. Okay, Abdulaziz, thanks for coming, but he needs to step out. He's one of our strong people. Cause, effect, and solution. So that way you're able to design it. For instance, if you're opening a phone-in program in Nigeria, the first year, you don't hear people talking solutions without even understanding what that issue is about. So you must build up, move, and then move to solution. So if someone calls at the beginning of the program and wants to start talking about solution, you tell the person to wait, because it's going to confuse other listeners. Say, we'll get there. So that you take people on that journey so they know that you move from this to this and that. Now, if these guys for fellowship play that your tape, they will see that progression. They will see that, yes, you understand what you're talking about, and you move. Now, when you do that cause effect solution, many times you get confused on what to ask the guests. That is what you use to now design your questions. So you now pull up questions along those angles, which are the questions you would ask both your guests and your listeners. So when now doing your promo is one of those questions you would also use when you're doing your online promo for your program, and put there, rather than you saying, oh, join us today for sickle cell program, we'll talk about XYZ, is boring. You know, you can ask a question, you know, just one question that will prick people's mind, you know, about stuff, and put it out there. And you find out that when you put that out there, you can even begin to get responses on your social media pages even before you come on. And then you now see issues that you can place before your guest, your expert that is there. So you'll be answering questions that people really care about, the issues that people, not the one you just sat in one corner and thought about. Okay. Now, so when you're able to now put down this entire process, you can now use it to fill those forms. Okay. Hope I am very clear. So what I want us to do going forward as we design our programs is this. First, do that your one sentence, then draw up a running order using this cause, effect, solution, and a program structure. Put it down. You can always share these things with me or any of the Kleverest Center team who would always, you know, go through, you know, and of course, share with the experts. And some of the experts here, if you agree, I would like you to share your contact, Dr. Prof, Reuben, Scenta, and co, even warriors, share your contact there in case they want to reach you to get information. Just share it on the chat box, so anybody that wants to reach you can reach you. So you do that. Then, after your program goes on air, it doesn't stop there. This is one thing that media guys don't do, and which is something you need to start doing. Do you know that every single program you produce is an article that could be published in an international journal? That discussion, the thought, is an article that could be published in an international journal, is an article that can become a column in major newspapers. Do you know that? It's an article that you can share with donor agencies and so many, groups like that. So what do? After your program, write a brief report about your program and post it online, either on your page, your LinkedIn page. And if you hook up to any of these researchers or anybody, you talk about how they can incorporate that your findings, because your program is like research also, findings and things that came up from your program there. And today you could go on the Kleverest Center YouTube page and see the training on AI. Today you can use AI, like now this session now, even before AI came, YouTube sessions, you can even pull out the transcript and, begin to turn it into article, just like that. Now there are AI softwares that do that for you. And that's why you must always record your program. I'm disappointed many times when, with the age of smartphone, many presenters do programs and say, I did not record. Or they are now waiting for the sound engineer or the technical guys who have other things they are doing to go pull out the program from the regular ingest in the station and send to someone. It's wrong. It's wrong. In this very system I'm using, my very first program on radio is right here in this system that I'm using to work. It's wrong. Okay? So you must always be able to just use your smartphone, tune to your radio station now and record your program. So you have a copy that you can review and then use it to transcribe and get this article out. Okay? My friend from Authority FM, I'm waiting for you. He's one of those that says he wants to do a program, wants to engage one of those politicians. He just put his contact there. He wants to engage one of those politicians in Anambra on sickle cell issues. You ought to have done it last month. Have you done it? Anyway, I'm waiting to really see how that happens. But that's the idea. So after your program, you do a mini report. Just take your recording, put it on any of the AI software and transcribe, and then turn it into an article. Put your background there, why you did that, publish it on your LinkedIn page, and then tag all these experts, all these international organizations where there are misconceptions, that they will reach out to you. And that gives you an opportunity to do a follow-up program on it. So you use that and you submit it when you want to apply for international fellowship. Guess what? That same report, that same material is what you can also take to major advert agencies, major multinational companies. They don't put advert on your sickle cell program, on your health-related program, because one, they are boring, they are locked in one corner, nobody sees them, nobody listens where the airtime the station places them. But you can take that material and submit it to them. Let them see the impact. You're going to also collect responses from your audience, feedback that you got from your audience on Facebook, those that called in, on Twitter, online emails you receive. You collect those responses also, and then you share. Okay? So at this point, let me stop here and then call some of the warriors. Jude, before your battery dies, I want you to share a few things you've observed in the media, things, because the warriors are at the center of it, that you think the media could do better. Jude, start. Then after that, we'll go to my guy.
Good day. Good day, everyone. Thank you
Yeah.
for this opportunity. I would like the media to focus more or talk more on the workplace and the academic institution or environment safety for warriors. Because based on experience, if I can remember from when I was in university up to even now that I'm working, it is not easy being a warrior and then going to school. I can remember lots of times when I had to be writing exam while I'm having crisis. But one way or the other, I still, because I know there's no cushion or safety for me. If I miss it because of the crisis, I just have to carry it over or even have an extra year. So I just had to either look for a way while still having my crisis to still write the exam. That is not fair for most, in fact, for any warrior. So if there are ways that or policies that can be made, for media can talk about it, for institutions to create an environment where schools can have a leeway for warriors, so that either by policy or by creating a platform for them to either have to write exams after they are better in that same semester. I look for a way to go around it. It is going to go a long way in helping a lot of warriors, and also for the workplace environment also. If media can also talk more of it, so that I know many warriors have lost their job because of course they had crisis more often than normal people, and then if there is a safety for them for organizations. I know many private organizations, of course, will say business is business, but if there's a way that things like this can be handled to also protect warriors, if through remotely in such a during their time of their recover, or give them extra days so that they can recover well and resume work. I think media should talk more on that. That is my points that I want to make. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. So Olanrewaju, you're next. Then Beulah Foundation, you come in after that. Olanrewaju.
Everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on. Yes, we can hear you.
So my name is Olanrewaju-Salawu. First of all, let me just quickly use this opportunity to appreciate Mr. Kleverest for what they're doing. We really appreciate you putting together this training to help actually, turn up the volume on sickle cell disease. It's really it's a big thing.
Wow, network. Wow. We've lost Olanrewaju. Seems like he has network issue. Someone who is just joining is asking what's the topic. It's sickle cell, producing programs on sickle cell. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Let's hear from Beulah Foundation, my dear sister.
Good afternoon once again, and it's nice being here, and a lot has been learned since I joined this morning, and I just realized that so many things have not been done rightly too.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, Olanrewaju is back. Okay, hold on, just let Olanrewaju finish. We lost Olanrewaju just now. Let him finish. There
I think my network cut me off. Sorry, I'm trying to set up. Hello, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
So Okay, I think a lot have been said, and one of the key things that have been said by Mr. Arrow is that sickle cell is not an international problem. It's a Nigerian problem. It's an African problem, and we would not expect people to come from outside to come and help us solve them, which is why what everyone is doing here is very needed and very critical. I read a report sometimes last month during the sickle cell, what's it called? And they said in the UK, about 300 babies are born every year with sickle cell disease. While in Nigeria, we have over 150,000 babies that are born every year. That's like 500% higher than the UK. So we don't expect them to come in and say, oh, they want to help us with what we're facing here. It's up to us to do that. And it's up to us to actually create awareness around sickle cell, which is really critical and really important. So for what has been said already, I think I just have a few things to add. We really need the media to continue to share light on sickle cell disease. This cannot be overemphasized. We need you guys to step in more and to talk more about sickle cell disease. Because even today, as I go online, I still see people still saying things like they cannot because of their future children being sickle cell, decide to opt out of a relationship or end a relationship because they might give birth to a child in the future that had sickle cell. That was it called distorting for me when I actually read that, but it is happening. A lot of people actually have those kind of misconceptions, and we don't just need it to be focused on health-related issues when it comes to tackling sickle cell. Like Jude has rightly said, there are so many areas that are untouched. We have academics. I know the struggles I went through when I was in school, being a sickle cell patient. So I had to develop different methods of coping. I had to reinvent myself over and over again just to be able to keep up with my mates. We have issues surrounding work. I've lost jobs. In fact, I've been fired unceremoniously because of sickle cell. And it keeps happening. A few days ago, thank God, I'm actually working with someone that is more understanding right now. But still, there's still some misconception. Because a few days ago, my boss called and said he heard that I was sick again. And am I not supposed to be at the stage where I have outgrown sickle cell? Now, for someone like that, I didn't expect that kind of statement from that person. But that's the truth. That's what is out there. A lot of people have misconception, misinformation around them. We need you guys to help us break those myths and put out the right information out. We have warriors that are matured and ready for marriage, but because people don't understand us, people are scared of getting married to us. We have even warriors. Some warriors don't even know about themselves. They don't know how to cope with themselves. So we need you to put all this kind of information out there. We need you to just please turn up the volume on sickle cell disease. And for I think Ms. Marigold, I don't know if she's still here. She mentioned something about what's it called? Counseling people. Please, if you can by any means, get yourself some courses that you can do, some free courses. Go to YouTube, learn about genetic counseling, so that when these sort of questions come up, you can actually help answer some of them. You can speak with different warriors. To help you understand what some of these warriors are going through. You don't need to put everybody on here to actually, help us, we help what our experiences are. But you can talk to us and help us say, okay, this is what some of the people have spoken with. Some of the warriors have spoken with. This is what they're going through. So for you to want to make a decision, because you don't know much about it or you don't have so much information about it, it's just wrong. So we need you to continue to actually help us just keep on talking about it. Get the right information. Get genetic counseling if possible. Collaborate with professionals. Collaborate with us. Thank you very much. Collaborate with professionals, collaborate with others, and collaborate with warriors. There are so many people out there that are willing to actually work. I'm one of those people. Jude is one of those people. A lot of them are here. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Olanrewaju. You spoke well. And please share your contact there so that they can reach you, please. Now, Madam Josie Olunaike of Beulah Foundation, congratulations on your 7th-year anniversary doing this sickle cell intervention. So you have the floor very briefly, please. So we round up. Madam Josie.
Yeah, good afternoon once again.
Yeah.
I want to especially appreciate Mr. Aro for putting this up and the entire team. And like I said earlier, I'm joining this training for the first time today, and it's been a lot of eye-opener for me, even as somebody living with sickle cell and also a passionate advocate. Over the years, my personal issues were probably most outlined why I went into advocacy, because while growing up, a lot of misconceptions. My dad was a lawyer, but then he didn't really know anything about it, and my mom too. And then we had 4 of us that were living with sickle cell in the family. And then because of the polygamous setting too, a lot of spiritual, and then one wife having all the warriors and the other children are okay. So a lot of spirituality and all of this was involved in it. And over the years, I think a lot of things happening in life. It's just by God's grace that I'm here that I am, because this was not what they told us would happen. Initially, by the time I got a bit comfortable, so to speak, I said, let's just be supporting some other warriors. And I saw the misconception was everywhere. And that was actually why I started the Sickle Cell Foundation. And when we started, it was just like, let me have a small gathering where we can be talking to ourselves, because nobody was talking to us. We were only being treated by medical personnel whose job was just to treat us, not to counsel us, and not to start asking us how we feel or how our mental problem is. Just treat the situation as one day and the next person mentally. And then that being said, too, there were other issues. And mental issues is now that getting big in Nigeria. Once you are not seeing blood or broken bones, then the mental issue is not seen or is not healed. And that was another huge problem in the sickle cell community. And that's why we have a lot of addiction ongoing now, especially among the teenagers and the young adults. The addiction is so high, and one of the things is because they look for the solution by themselves that they can afford themselves. And this is where we have come to say, let us stand in and see how we can help ourselves. And then beyond this, we see situations where the government, the clinicians, a lot of research is going on, and which we are grateful to, because it's making life easier by the day. But the problem we saw there, which is equally getting better, I was opportune to do at an event, I think by the fact that I'm a genetic counselor. And this is a program for sickle cell event. And I saw everybody there was either clinician, government official, no one person living with sickle cell aside myself. And like I said, I was not there because I was living with sickle cell, but because I was a genetic counselor. And when we had that talk, I was like, when I had the opportunity to speak, I said, would it not be better if they are included in some of this, especially since this is not a medical, a clinician's event. And because of that, when they were doing the second edition of policy review for SCD, I was the only sickle cell person there. And I still feel that we should be included in that, at that time they said, oh, they have come to the resolution that Algeria is better for us, it helps us. Yeah, you want us to take it, which is good, but don't you think that the physical community has questions to ask on this? Because the narration there was they were stubborn, warriors are stubborn and they don't like this. You understand? But they need to ask questions. And the answer I got from a medical doctor once I asked that this is what I learned about Nigeria, the facility issue. The answer shocked me. She was like, is it not when you go to the stage of having child that you'll be talking about children? And I thought that was the wrong answer for me. Although uh, for me, I'm married with children already. But then I felt that the ones coming behind shouldn't be getting this kind of answer. So I want it better that even through the social media, there's an inclusion story put out there for us to be included in matters that concerns us. And then realizing that sickle cell is actually a total family problem and a national problem. Like I said, I'll use my family as an example. We were four from my mom that are living with sickle cell, and the other children were not. And it became like we were not strong. That's just the truth. And sometimes the work sharing, it's like, oh, these ones are not working, these ones are working. And then once the first one died, the second one died, it was like it's expected. Now, why are we mourning? Is it not what we already know? So I think that, but they are not the mental health of the remaining two of us. We are not put into consideration. This is missing the first one gone, the second one gone. If the next crisis my turn to go, then the woman that has these children, what is her mental? She should just accept that, oh, since they are sickle cell, then they will go. So I think there should be an inclusion on advocacy for families, for caregivers, that's the parents, for the children, and then for the young ones. There's a lot of fear and they don't know who to talk to. And then the inclusion of religious centers, religious leaders, and traditional leaders, they will help a lot. So that my pastor is not telling me that even if AS marry AS, it is not my portion in Jesus' name that we have sex. Or somebody will not cancel me that when we get to the river, we'll cross there. Like Dr. Nora said, you cannot tell somebody who to marry or who not to marry. But like informed decisions, give them information that will help them take informed decisions. Religious leaders and traditional rulers should be actively getting involved in all of this so that we are not just talking every day and everywhere, but we are actually moving forward. I also hope that these are things that we can structure into it so that when policies are being made, the people suffering are involved, not just let's make decision for them and they will take it. We know it, so we know what's good for them. These days, and if you tell me why it is good for me, if I get that information, I want to stay healthy. I want to be happy. I don't want to keep falling sick. So, but when you tell me this, I will do whatever it takes for me to be okay. By the grace of God, I'm able to run a foundation because many see me as a voice to rally with because I'm married. I've been married for 29 years and I have my children. The youngest one is in 500 level nursing. So people felt still have walked that path and have an understanding with them. And even though we hardly do advert of our clinic, you see nothing less than 150 warriors at the clinic every point in time. So we want to have this voice resonate outside so that it will bring healing, not just to people living with sickle cell, but to the families, the community. I won't get somewhere and somebody will tell me, I was at ShopRite in Abuja the other day. I met one of my university friends. He just shouted, Josephine, out of you, don't tell me you are still alive. And it started with everywhere. Everybody was looking. And I was like, how did we get here? maybe for him it was the wife had to caution him. So these are the things. He lost himself actually. Not that he meant, but that is the narrative they have in mind. So, like I said, I've learned a lot here. A lot that I plan to go and put into what I'm doing, because I know that definitely I will get a better improvement, better results with all that I've learned here, and hopefully be part of a subsequent training too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you for all you do. And congratulations. Our anniversary is taking place. She has an event that will be taking place, I think, this week or thereabout. Those of you in Abuja, you can reach out to her and support her. She was on Kids FM a couple of weeks back, about 2 weeks back or thereabout. Okay, so support. So when we see these kind of stories, put them on air. Now, you'll be surprised that when someone hears that story and the person is a warrior hiding, that person will be bold enough to come up. That person will believe that there is hope somewhere. That person will believe that, oh, there are things that we can do. She talks about addiction. She talks about addiction. It's not even in all the other trainings, we've not even mentioned that one. So that's one area we should do programs on. So those of you who do these programs where you play music from morning till night, she just mentioned about young people, teenagers who do not have information. Where will they get this information from? They are listening to you play your Burna Boy and whiskey. But you could, in between the Burna Boy and the whiskey, you could use and put this kind of information. That was what flavor that I produced years ago was about. It was about HIV. Young people didn't want to listen to it. But we used the bandits, the rugged mans, and all of them, the RMDs, the people that they look up to, and we put the message inside using them. Flavor was aired in 230 radio stations in Nigeria. If it was not that exciting, those stations wouldn't take that program, and they aired that program for free because it was very exciting. You get it? So imagine if that sort of program was a program for your station. We have the GM. Let me recognize my guy of Comfort FM in Uyo. He is here with us. So please get your presenters, your people. Let's have a program that deals with sickle cell that is as funky as Flavor. Just joining us now, okay? We are rounding up, but let me recognize him. Oga Greg just joined us. He's retired director program, Southeast Zonal Director Programs, or Director Program Southeast Zone for FRC and Radio Nigeria. And he had done a lot of programs on a lot of development issues, including dramas and all that. We don't finish. I will share the recording with you. I said I should acknowledge you. So now, any questions we have? Anybody that has any question, you want to ask something? Madam Cynthia from Leadership Newspaper, I'll be expecting you to do a nice article about some of all these issues that have been mentioned here. Take one of them. Elizabeth, after this, I know we'll be talking about, I trust you, you've been doing that, the program you'll be doing in Maiduguri there. Marigold wants to say something again. Yeah, fire.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I think I've learned a lot from the training today, and I understand very well what it is to have a warrior amongst us, and how we can manage the situation somehow, one way or the other. And before I go to my question, somebody was asking a question here on the question tag. At what point or at what stage in the point of the relationship do you find out about your partner's genotype? For me, I feel it's from the talking stage. These are things you talk about. Your talking stage before you start falling in love and having feelings. So let the feelings catch you before you catch the feelings, kind of. So talking stage for me. And my other question, I think I wrote it down here. I asked, do people outgrow sickle cell? That's one. Then from what I said, as I said earlier, my program, I have a program where I connect singles and also talk to couples. Now, it's called Confirm Connect. Now, in that program, part of the details they give is their genotype and their blood group. Okay, and there's this question of a lot of persons will say, okay, connect me with this person. No, I don't want to be connected with this person because the person is AS. You understand? So, and we kind of respect their opinions. That's why sometimes we just tell them that, okay, because they don't want this person, so you don't want, just leave them, let them be. Not like we say, do not get married. I've talked about it on the program, the consequences of having partners that are AS and AS, kind of. So it's not like we say, do not get married. But oftentimes, you see a lot of persons that come on air and say they are AS. They want another partner that is AS, that maybe that partner's portfolio or criteria is very rich and they want to be with that person. But the person is saying, I cannot be with you because you are AS. So in such a situation, if I can have a facilitator that can assist me once in a while, I do that. If possible, I can book up for I have the program every Thursday. Yes, if I can book up for that, and we plan a program template on how to attend to sickle cell issues and couples who are probably AS and even SS that want to get married, so that we can deal with this, because I'm also dealing with what we call the albino people. Yes, I'm dealing with them because most times I also have people that have these skin issues. They want to, meet with themselves. They want to get married, and you hear issues of no, I be albino, I don't want albino, and all those kind of stuff. So I deal with all these health issues anyway. So if I can have someone, a facilitator, I don't mind. I'll be happy. But then please help me answer: do people outgrown sickle cell? That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Who wants to answer that? Just mute yourself and speak.
Hello, sir. Can I just? All right. So
yes,
we talked about, like, at what stage do you start talking about your genotype? Please, we need to normalize asking it from the beginning, not at the talking stage. As long as you are asking, oh, what's your name? What part of the country are you from? Please, the next thing will be, what's your genotype? Don't wait till when you get to the talking stage and you start catching feelings. No, that one is not.
At the beginning, you don't started catching feelings, so.
No,
I'm a relationship expert. Talking stage is at the beginning, not catching feelings is after the talking stage. Oh.
As you are telling me about yourself, be telling me your genotype, so that you don't go too far. That is my own opinion. Now, for the issue of people who have sickle cell, no, people don't have sickle cell. But with the right care, you can actually live a better life.
I like that.
When you grow up, yes. But the fact that you can outgrow it, no. I still have crisis at the age of 37. I still have thankfully, the last time I was on admission was about last year, this same time last year. But prior to that, I think I had not been on admission for like 2 or 3 years. But yeah, you can live a more healthy life, or you cannot outgrow sickle cell. I think maybe any of our professionals that are here, they can also speak more about that. Thank you.
All right. Biodun, you have
good afternoon. My name is Abiodun Adelowore. I work for Radio Now in Lagos. The last two speakers talked about when you should get to know about the person's genotype. I was married to a warrior for over 22 years, and I got to know that she was a warrior from the initial stage when we started dating. And I made up my mind that whatever it takes, I'm going to love this person and I'm going to go that journey with her. We had 3 children, and in the course of that, she had CS like 3 times. It was always, the pains keep coming and going. And I think things got worse when she entered her menopause, and then she started having issues with palpitation and all that. She died at the age of 52, 3 years ago. So it depends on what you want to do. I mean, with a lot of love, with a lot of understanding and support, these people can get to live a very good life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Biodun. Thank you very much. Biodun is one of those presenters in Lagos that does not wait for something before he does programs on them. I can vouch for that. He sought me out when I didn't even know him, and he puts me on air, there. And you can imagine the experiences. And I think the more we have more media people, and I think we should have more of media gatherings where media people share experiences, then you will know what goes on within the media amongst media people. You'll be shocked. We don't talk about ourselves as media people. And sometimes we don't even think about ourselves when doing programs. There are lots of stories within the media space. And people listen, and I'm telling you the truth, by the time we begin to do programs in such a way that some of our stories come out, the people on the other side will start trusting and respecting the media a lot more. Well done, Jude. Time has gone, we need to run. So now I want our experts to close us. If they are still here, is Dr. Ofonime and Prof here? If they are here, I'd like you to say something. I know they were supposed to leave because we're supposed to end 2:30. Is Prof still here? And Ofonime, I think they've left. On behalf of experts that are here, Reuben, is there anything you want to share with us? So these recordings will be made available to the larger group. Sorry, we didn't publicize it too much because it was supposed to be within a few trainees originally before I opened it up to others to join. So we'll share it. So they say normalize genotype. So as you ask, what is your name? What is your genotype? And I'm telling you, if content creators start doing things like that on social media, you see that it becomes the norm. It becomes the norm. Okay. Oga Reuben, you have anything to share with us? Anything to say as we close? Reuben, is Reuben still with us? Madam Cordelia and those who joined later, please type your name and your organization in the chat box so we know who is here. Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. I want to say something. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I think they gave us wrong time. My name is Cordelia Obianya. I work with the Public Health Department, and I got this post in a non-communicable disease chat, and they gave us 2 p.m. That is when this course is the presentation will start. And what they posted to us in our platform is a supportive supervision for sickle cell disease. That is why when I came in, I said I did not understand the topic of discussion. So, and as I came in, you people have gone far. But my own addition is that if you're doing this program, you have to involve the people in the hospitals, various hospitals, especially FCT Hospital, Abuja, because we have a lot of sickle cell diseases, both there were a place where we are living and in the hospital. And the hospital workers, they are the ones that are overseeing them, they are treating them. So they are to enter this meeting so that they are going to share a lot of experiences they are having in that their treatment, both the children and the even the parents that have sickle cell disease, grown-up children and small children. So that is what I want to say. And we in the public health. It's better when you send this thing, you tell us the correct time. As I entered 2 p.m. now or 2:30, I couldn't even get all the information you are talking about. So even the Mary Good that said that, Mrs. Mary Good that said that they need somebody to appear in their television, their media on Thursday to give a program to present something. It's still within FCT hospital that
we can prepare and come there to present the experiences we have with for patients with sickle cell diseases. So it will make a lot of meaning, and many people will learn a lot about it. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Madam Cordelia. I would like you to drop your contact there, your contact details.
I'm in Lagos. I'm not in Abuja. I'm in Lagos.
You can do phoning. Anyway, the mix-up is not from our side. The correct information of 2:30 was given to the focal person, but I know she said she will not be around, and said she will share it to you guys for anybody who wants to join. So it is from you guys. But one thing you should know is that we and FCT Public Health Department, we are one. So they're always part of our activity all the time. It's just that you specifically have not been a part of it. So thanks a lot for what you shared. Please share your contact. We'll get across to you. There are many presenters, several are on air now. That's why they are not here. Right now. So, but there are many presenters who will be doing programs on sickle cell in Abuja this month. And then through phone interviews too, we have people, there are PRTV people here, there are people in Maiduguri, Enugu, Onitsha, and all those places that will be having programs on sickle cell this month. So we'll definitely be reaching out. Please drop your contact details there. So thanks a lot to everybody. Oga Akpan, you want to say something? Oga Odiakosa, you want to say something before we leave? This recording will be made available to all of us. And if you want to get across to Kleverest Center, you can just WhatsApp the number that I'm typing there now, 09089009000. That's the contact. Okay, 09089009000. That's the Kleverest Center contact. You get across to us. You're doing any program, we can link you up with all these experts all over the place. And experts, please, when the media people get across to you, I've said it here that they should give enough time, but sometimes things happen. So even if they come last minute, please try to honor. If you can't honor, link them to someone else. Expert warriors, there are so many. It's good to hear those authentic voices, because we need those voices out on air so that people can share. Like what Madam Cordelia said, experiences in the hospital. And media guys visit the hospitals, do recordings, interact with people. You will see a lot. When you go in there, you will see a lot. We've done documentaries, we've done some of all these things. So I know what I'm talking about. There are huge content there for you to put on air to do stuff. In fact, sickle cell has more content than so many other issues that we deal with. Okay, so now go there, everybody. Thanks, plenty. God bless all of you. So now it's open mic for everybody. Greet everybody. And let's see you do what I say we should do. Remember, presenters that are here, do that report after your program and share. Do the report and share. You can send it to health department, FCT Health, all those guys, the Prof. Send it to Reuben. They know how to incorporate such reports in their own publications and things they do. Thank you very much for this session. So let's look out for the next sessions coming up. So going forward, we'll be making it open. It won't be restricted to them, Dabang and Engagers and those people. We're going to open it up to everybody now. And Biodun, good to have you here.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity to learn. We're grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Those people that didn't say anything, bye.
Bye.
And cool. Thank you. God bless.